Okay, well, hi everyone. Thanks for joining. I think we'll go ahead and get started. Anyone else hopping on can hop on. My name is Lily Krajine. Some of you might know me. I work here at Met Sales. I'm the business development manager for MicroTouch, so that's my soul line. And I'm joined here today with Scott Smith from MicroTouch. And we're going to present to you about some new products. Very excited. So before we go on, again, how people are still coming in, just some housekeeping notes. You can submit questions at any time during the entire webinar. There's a little question button in the top right-hand corner with the question mark. These will be addressed at the end of the presentation. If we do not get to all of them, I promise I will get to them at some point or another and reach out to you. Today's presentation is being recorded. As always, we will send it out to you. Please feel free to share with anyone. So today we will have 3 polls in our webinar, which is something new we're trying out. They're all opinion-based, just to kind of get you guys engaged, share feedback. So yeah, we're excited to launch those. That'll be in between our 3, the new sections of 3 new products, different products. And Starbucks gift card, of course, to thank you all for joining. We really appreciate that. You will get that in a day or 2 after this webinar. Marketing at Met Sales, you can reach out to with any questions on it, but everything should be pretty straightforward. But yeah, again, thanks for joining, and very excited to show you their new products. Okay, so without further ado, Scott Smith, the VP of Product Marketing at MicroTouch, is going to take it from here. Scott.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today, and we'll have a good webinar today. So a couple of agenda items here. This is ruggedized convenience, trends and hardware for these applications. So we really want to cover 3 applications today. We'll start off with the concierge drive-through application plus the tablet hardware used for that application. This has really caught on recently as more and more fast food and quick service restaurants are using servers outdoors to take orders and expedite the drive-through process. Then we'll pick up with outdoor self-service. In this application I'm showing here, it's food service, but this also extends to ticketing and vending machines and other applications that could be outdoor in nature. And we'll talk about outdoor displays for this application and environment. And then finally, we'll finish up on hospitality kitchen systems, or the KDS system. And we'll talk about this a little more, but this application, particularly in this setting, in a hospitality type setting, is becoming the centerpiece of the IT in restaurant. So what's happening is your traditional point of sale is communicating to the KDS, the tablets and hardware is communicating to the KDS, and also the order entry from an outdoor self-service kiosk, plus any mobile orders coming in, all are being centralized through the KDS system. So it's becoming a very important part of the overall infrastructure for hospitality. Okay, so let's talk about the market a little bit. We'll just spend a short moment here, but really what I want to talk about is, and the key takeaway here is that there's about 1.5 million mobile devices per year sold into hospitality. This is a fast growth area. It's not only, we're going to talk primarily about the concierge drive-through application today. However, mobile devices, whether it's a tablet sized or handheld devices, really growing in popularity, probably a 2x growth rate. And it's taking some share from traditional point of sale. And then really handheld terminals are becoming some of the new food service point of sale systems. So with that said, let me transition over to Lily for our first poll.
Sure, thank you, Scott. So launching our first poll, everyone should be able to see this on their screen. So again, these are all opinion-based questions. In your opinion, with our new ruggedized tablet that Scott will go into more details, what is the biggest selling feature that you guys think? So you can choose more than one, choose all 5, whatever you guys think is really important for these tablets to have. And I see everyone coming in. Just give 30 more seconds, a minute. So built-in scanner, I'll read the answers. Built-in scanner, long battery life, built-in NFC reader, anti-glare display, Android GMS certification. So any and all, whatever you guys think is the most important. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. I think we got most people in. So I am sharing the results. Everyone should be able to see. So long battery life has won. So again, these are opinion based. So lucky for all of you, all 5 of these answers are included in our new ruggedized mobile tablet. So whatever you guys choose, we have them all. But yeah, we just kind of like to see your opinion. Long battery life, built-in scanner, anti-glare definitely seem to be very popular with you guys. But yeah, we have them all, and Scott's gonna give it back to Scott to go more into them.
Okay, so back to the presentation. So application requirements. So this is what we found when we were working with our customers and receiving feedback from resellers, customers, and others. A tablet used for a concierge drive-through, first of all, it needs to be a commercial grade mobile handheld device. It's not really consumer grade. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And it's not really picking on the consumer tablets because you know, Apple and Samsung tablets are very good in terms of the product itself. However, they do change frequently. They don't necessarily have a long product life, and the OS is changing frequently. So when it comes to an application, you need stable operating systems. You need stability so that your in-house applications run consistently. And security is a key item. So we'll cover those items in this discussion. So the other item that we have is a bright display. And the bright display is a balance between sunlight readability, because this is, basically an outdoor or a covered outdoor application, and the battery life, because the battery drawdown is typically related to the display brightness. So that's the #1 factor for battery drawdown. So we're picking a bright display, but we've got to keep in mind the battery aspects of it, and especially since that's your #1 item. So and then long battery life does show up, plus the anti-glare display surface treatments, drop and impact resistance and liquid resistance, connectivity, scanner built in to read customer QR codes. So in this case, in this application, built-in scanner, so that when the customer shows up and they have a QR code for a discount on their phone, they just hold it up. You can scan it from the tablet and capture the discount from the customer. NFC built-in support for soft pause payment, ergonomic hand straps with built-in payment device holders, Android GMS for security, and Google Store downloads. And that's actually important, not only for security, but if you are certified, if the Android is certified for GMS, that gives you the Google Store download capability. And once you have that, it makes a lot of other things easier and better for updates, keeping any types of security updates or even application updates. It simplifies that rollout to the full field. And then long-term product warranties. So having that as a background, our first mobile tablet product is a 10-inch tablet And this is basically an optimal size for that drive-through application. We're running it at 500 nits with etched anti-glare and a bonded touchscreen to the LCD for the best optical performance. And this is the right balance to keep that long battery life, plus give you the brightness you need if it's an outdoor covered type application. We're using a MediaTek Genio 700 processor, which is the same processor we use across all of our Android platforms. And that gives very good consistency. So you can run your application on the POS, and then you can also run it on the tablet, and it'll be seamless. The Android that we're running is 14, so it's Android 14 GMS. And connectivity, full connectivity with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. NFC is built in to support soft pause payment services. It also has a built-in scanner, so that I talked about reading those customer QR codes. The battery is a 10,000 milliamp battery, so this will give 8-hour all-day performance. Our impact resistance is IK07, and this is also tested to a 4-foot drop on concrete multiple times. So this is designed to be outdoors in use, in a drive-through, in an environment that these devices really get used aggressively. Environmental is IP67, so it has full water and dust and debris protection. Built-in sensors, a G sensor, a gyroscope, light sensors to adjust brightness levels, 2 cameras, front-facing, rear-facing camera, and long warranty, best in the industry. And also we have a rotating hand strap with a payment device holder. This is an image of the product. And point out a few things here. So on top of the unit, power button's located, and the scanner is on top. So the scanner is located here, pointing this direction, so you can see the scanner. Now, what I want to point out on the scanner is on both sides of the product, this orange button is the scanner trigger, and there's a scanner trigger on both sides. So very easy to activate the scanner. Use the scanner, just point it in the direction, touch the device. And of course, besides this application that we're talking about with concierge drive-through, we expect this device to be used in warehousing types of industrial applications also. Volume control, and then a full group of connecting locations, HDMI, USB-C, a couple of TF card slots, SIM slots, and also USB-A, 2 USB-A connectors, and then pogo pin connectors on the bottom. And then pointing out the built-in drop-proof protection. This is fully enclosed, built-in protection for the device. We're not adding another, protective device around this tablet. It is the tablet. So this is a ruggedized tablet and meant to be utilized that way. All right, and then a couple of things on the hand strap. So our optional hand strap, it rotates, so you can set the location of your hand strap in whatever's comfortable for the user. We actually stayed away from a Velcro type hand strap because in these environments, Velcro actually doesn't last that long. So we're using a sort of a belt type hand strap for better long-term usage. And then this is likely something as an industry first. We're adding a payment device location. So for example, in this case, it's an Ingenico Mobi device, but multiple payment devices are available sort of in this category, in a hinged holder on the side. So it can be hinged and placed here so that the dip is facing toward the user, or it can be rotated to the side and out of the way. And it'll also have tap to pay on the side. So a few features associated with the hand strap. Okay. Moving on to the outdoor products. So we'll make a switch from the tablet to outdoor displays. So I'll skip through these fairly quickly, but this is, there's multiple applications for using outdoor displays. So the kiosk applications include quick serve restaurant, like I was showing earlier in the image, ticketing point of sale, kiosk, and multiple other kiosk types of transactional applications for this. We expect there's about 18,000 of these used per year outdoors. I'm not counting all the kiosks. There's way more kiosks, but about 20K just outdoor, and the sizes range from 21 is sort of the primary, 15.6, 27, and 10-inch. So I'll cover those, but in this category, 27 is used a lot. 21 to 27 are just used very frequently. Okay, the other location that large format displays are showing up is in fuel systems, fuel pumps, and car washes. Especially like locally for me, I'm seeing more and more of 27-inch displays used in full fuel pumps. So this is a pretty large TAM of units, total available market, 75,000 units per year. Most of the time it's 27. It's the larger sizes of 27, but depending on the type of fuel system or like a car wash, drive up kiosk payment device, the smaller sizes are used, such as a 10-inch. And then the final sort of market area is for outdoor vending types of machines. So the vending machines, we're looking at a total available market of around 50,000 units per year in this category. And these do tend to be smaller sizes in a lot of cases, so that 10-inch size, followed by the larger sizes. Okay, so Lily, if you want to go ahead and run the next poll.
Yes, thank you, Scott. So yes, I'm going to launch our second poll. So thanks for introducing our outdoor screens. As long as I've been with MicroTouch, I've definitely heard a lot of interest. Always, do you have them? Do you have them? Well, we have created them. So again, another opinion question. In your opinion, what is the most important requirement for an outdoor screen? So anti-glare, anti-reflective, high temperature performance, readable with sunglasses, intelligent sensing, and long product warranty. So again, totally your opinion. You can choose one or all, whatever you guys think. Just getting feedback, what you've seen in day-to-day and also in the industry. We have 30 more seconds. Okay, thank you everyone for your feedback. Everyone should be able to see the results. So again, no right answer, but anti-glare and anti-reflective seem to be definitely the most important to you guys. Once again, I'm happy to say that MicroTouch's new outdoor screens, all 5 of these are correct and included in our new screens. So any of these, we're good to go. But yeah, thanks for the feedback. Scott is going to go into more detail about all 5 of these and why we kind of chose to include them. Thanks, Scott.
So to jump into the application that we're receiving from our customers, of course, this is outdoors. So the environment, it's all about the environment and resisting the rigors of the environment. So the item that we saw most frequently, and it does relate to the AG and anti-reflective coatings, is sunlight readability. So having a sunlight readable display is highly important. And once you get to that threshold of sunlight readability, it brings on many other design requirements into an application of the display itself. And that includes UV protection. It has to be readable with sunglasses. And then the AG anti-reflective coatings. And all of that is optical performance. So the primary items relate to optical performance in this application, followed by, usually when it's outdoors, the impact resistance and liquid resistance also become important because of weather and, potential for vandalization and so forth. So you want the impact and liquid resistance in that environment. And then last but maybe not the least is high temperature performance. The sunlight readable displays tend to run hot, combined with the solar load. Really, these units need to manage high temperatures. And then we're building in, because of some of these things, intelligent sensing, which includes ambient light sensing, proximity sensing, and thermal sensing. The ambient light sensing is important because these are high bright displays, but at night, you don't really need that much brightness. Matter of fact, it needs to be running at lower brightness just for usability. So, we're measuring the ambient light and adjusting the brightness based on that ambient light level. And we can set these up so that they can run at a lower brightness level until someone approaches the display. So proximity sensing, and then we can increase the brightness as people approach the display for use. And then overall, internally, we're monitoring the thermals. So we're automatically adjusting fan speeds, thermal performance, to keep everything in check, internal to the device. And then, of course, long product warranties. So the MicroTouch products, we've launched 3 new products. These are our best-in-class outdoor products. We've launched a 10.1, a 21.5, and a 27-inch. Our brightness levels on all of these products is 1500 nits. And we are going with a higher than the typical sunlight readable product because we want it to be sunlight readable over a 3-year period and incorporate in the derating of the LCD running 24/7 over this period of time. So at the end of 3 years, we still expect to have a sunlight readable display starting with brightness of 1500 nits. The environmentals, so we have a IP66 rated front bezel, which is debris and water resistant. The thermal performance is operating up to 60 degrees C. Impact resistance is IK10, which this is extreme impact, actually one of the highest impact resistance levels. And then we have UV protection for the LCD, and also we're using special border inks and border region paints so that it's all UV protected. The optics for the product, we're doing optical bonding, which also helps with not only the optical performance, but it increases the strength of the performance. We're doing etched anti-glare. We're adding circular polarizers for the sunlight readability. And then sensing, ambient light sensing, proximity sensing, thermal sensing, we've talked about that already, and then a 3-year warranty. So with that, I'll show you a few glamour shots here. This is the 10-inch unit. What we're doing is around the edge, this is gasket sealed around the edge. I'm not showing the bracketry, so let me move to the 21. The 21-inch, same thing. We have bracketry around the edges that can be mounted or not mounted to the display itself. You can sort of see behind the bracket the gasket material, so it's similar to that 10-inch. So the gasket material goes all the way around. It is fan cooled, and and then the 27-inch. So for the 27-inch, we've added additional VISA mounting locations because this display is large. So if you happen to mount it from a VISA perspective, we have that, plus the bracketry and gasket seals to form that nice seal of the product. And mentioning that, we really designed these products to have a few different ways to mount this and some flexibility with the mounting so that you get the proper seal. So it can be mounted from the front. It can be mounted from the rear of the display mounting into the location, or the panel from the rear. And then there's multiple other ways we can do that. So we work with our partners in terms of what the optimal mounting options are for the application. All right, moving on to the kitchen applications and kitchen display systems and KDS systems. As I mentioned earlier at the first of the presentation, this is really being a central location where all order entry for hospitality comes into this. Basically, it's coming into this system, whether it's from the point of sale, whether it's from the drive-through, whether it's from a outdoor kiosk, or whether it's just a mobile device, someone ordering from their own mobile device for takeout. There's 1 million restaurants in the US, 300K are quick serve. So if we're assuming about 8 KDS systems there's another 700K restaurants that, assuming 3 KDS systems. So we're looking at about 4.5 million systems in the field. And if those get replaced every 3 years or so, about 1.5 million systems a year. So that's a really good growth rate for this industry. All right, so Lily, if you want to do our third poll, that would be great.
Sure. Thank you very much, Scott. Yeah, so our third and final poll. Everyone, this will be on our new ruggedized KDS. So what options do you think are available? Connectivity with the new KDS that Scott's going to go into in a little. So not an opinion, just what options about connectivity. So PoE, LAN, Wi-Fi, or Bluetooth. What have you guys seen with KDS so far, and what your customers? So I'll give it a little more time. And yeah, I just want to touch before all these polls, Scott's really been going in, the market before we go into our product itself. We really, have been listening and seeing trends in the market, and the tablet outdoor kiosk, this KDS, we really believe, is the future, which is why obviously we're putting our time and effort into building these new products and really listening with these polls and with, any sort of feedback, what we're looking at for the future. All right, I'm going to share the results. So if you guys have been paying attention, like the last 2 polls, all 4 answers are correct, even though this is not opinion. So our KDS screens, this ruggedized one, stainless steel, that Scott's going to go into, will have PoE, LAN, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. So it looks like you guys said Wi-Fi is the most important in your opinion. PoE we find is very, very common in the kitchen, just with, eliminating wires, just having that one power over Ethernet, power everything in one wire. Much better in kitchens or any environment. Okay, thank you very much, Scott. I will kick it back to you. Thanks.
And thank you, Lily. So the application requirements that we see most frequently for KDS is the environmental resistance for liquids, grease, airborne materials, and also occasionally the high temperature protection aspect. So when we start seeing some of these, we're adding to some of our other high performance products in this space. So, and then of course the optical performance with a bright readable display and anti-glare display surface. And I point that out because even in this image is sort of a typical KDS, and there's a lot of text on this image. So the text readability is pretty important, and that could be from, you know, some distance away. So so that is a key optical. The optics of the display are very important. Impact resistance, it is in the kitchen. It does get, you know, it's in the environment of the kitchen. All-in-one computer design with performance processing and Android OS. We've talked about Android a lot in this presentation, GMS for security. And then connectivity. So our poll question, PoE, LAN, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and I would agree that Wi-Fi is by far the most widely used. And then for this particular device, some regulatory compliances because of the environment. Not all products in this category are. And then long product warranties and availability. Okay, so the MicroTouch product, this is our new stainless steel enclosed, fully enclosed product. It's a 21.5 display size. It's IP65 rated and IK07 impact resistance. So we're good for debris, dust, liquids, and the impact up to IK07. And then optical performance, 350 nit display, etched anti-glare, and optically bonded. The MediaTek Genio 700 is our processor that we use for this device. And again, I mentioned this, we use this device in all of our Android-based products currently. The system comes with 8 gigabytes memory, 64 gigabytes of storage, and then this is running Android 13 GMS. And by end of the year or early next year, we're looking at the upgrade to Android 15 GMS. So we have line of sight on Android OS path into the future for long-term serviceability. So, and then connectivity, LAN, PoE, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth built in. Many USB ports, USB-C ports. These are power delivery ports, the PD ports. So we can power devices from these ports, or the device can be powered by USB. And then also the device can be power over Ethernet or the PoE. So multiple ways to install. So if you have line power to the device, great. If you need to power it from USB, we can do that. Or if you have PoE++ from the router, you don't even need power. You just plug in your LAN with PoE++ and power the device over the LAN. And the 3-year warranty. Okay, so that's really all of our new products. I do want to point out we do have a full family of these Mach products, especially, you know, we talk about KDS, we talk about kiosk, and today's presentation, we talked about the 10.1-inch mobile, we talked about the 21-inch stainless steel kitchen display. We also have, for our all-in-one touch computers, a 10-inch, a 15-inch, a 21.5, and a 27. And we also have the same products in Windows with a 21.5 and 15.6. I point that out because maybe for KDS, possibly the stainless, you don't necessarily need it for all the locations. You can use our standard 21 for other KDS applications, or the 15.6. Or for your point of sale, you use the 15.6 and maybe use the 10-inch as a customer-facing product. And then the 27-inch, most of the time, 27-inch is used for indoor kiosk applications. But just wanted to point that out. And then with all of the Mach platform of products from MicroTouch, they are designed with commercial grade in mind. They're really slim designs. IP65 rated is just standard across all these products, and they're built for 24/7 operation. They have optical bonding, which basically means we're bonding the touchscreen to the LCD. This greatly increases the light transmission and the optical performance. And as a side benefit, it actually bolsters the overall strength of the device for impact resistance. And then our etched anti-glare. So this is most use some sort of spray-on anti-glare. Our anti-glare is actually etched into the glass, so it's a high performance etched surface that lasts over the life of the product and is highly durable. So I want to point those out as from our mock products, and that is the last of our slides. So Lily, I'll turn it back over to you for questions.
Yes, thanks very much, Scott. And thanks everyone for your participation as well as your questions. I've seen a bunch coming in as we're going on. So last 5 minutes, we'll just go over a couple. From Chad, what POS system does this work with? Is it POS specific? No, I don't know if Scott, you want to touch on this, but all of our screens are, agnostic to pretty much any software. These ones happen to be Android, so, Windows or Android, whatever screen you're on, no specific POS system.
That's correct. Yes, we operate with everyone's software. And if we don't, we will make it work with the software. So,
Scott, maybe you can take this one. What payment devices are available? And again, what POS do they work with? So with that tablet, I suppose.
Yeah. So for the tablet, we'll have to work with. So it depends on the tablet. If you marry a small payment device with the tablet, it's specific to that small payment device, which most of them, frankly, work with all the payment methods. So it's typically specific to that device. However, the NFC that's built into the tablet would be a soft pay provider, and we would work with you on that to get that up and running for the application or the software provider you're using, or your payment processing provider that you're using.
Thank you, Scott. We're getting a couple questions about Windows. So I know some people are interested in the tablet and Windows. That is not available right now. Scott, do you have anything to touch on that?
No, not for Windows. More to come on that. Yeah, more to come on that at a later time.
Okay, some questions about warranty. We have a 3-year warranty on all products, optional 5 years. Do you have any? A couple questions on the PoE. I believe, Scott, you covered before. So PoE is an option, and then our screens are PoE++.
That is correct. PoE++. Typically, what happens if some devices you can run at a lower power level, however, you really are. I don't know, but basically you have to run the display brightness very low. It may impact your processing performance to some degree. You can get away with lower power, but we really don't recommend it for the applications. We've seen some PoE devices, they're running it at a lower power PoE, but they're also running the devices at 30% brightness. So you really end up with some really large trade-offs. But yes, our device is really designed for PoE++.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, a lot of these questions are kind of repetitive. A lot of people asking for specs and demos. We'll be in, like I said, we'll be in touch with everyone who reached out. In addition to everyone just on here, you guys will get the recording. Just want to say thanks so much for coming out. If you know anything about Metropolitan and MicroTouch, we're very hands-on. We're here to help. Very knowledgeable of all the products and very excited about this new launch, ruggedized equipment. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining. Starbucks gift cards will come. Give us a day or two. But again, thanks everyone and have a great day and weekend.